All right, Michelle is back again, January 30th, 2026 on Friday. What you say? So, I wanted to go ahead and say a little bit more about the dangers in store for the transgender community and why the transgender community is in a crisis. Okay, plain and simple. Again, the biological woman is more than meets the eye. We all know that, right? I have the components, the chromosomes, the blah 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 blah, to illustrate to any professional that understands biology that I am a biological woman. Plain and simple. The same thing with my brothers. Plain and simple. Okay, we have the chromosomes, we have the makeup, the makeup meaning our structural makeup, structural skeletal components that separates us and to identify who we are, what we are, and why we are. So as a biological woman, there's a lot of factors to consider. Again, I have no idea what it means to be a biological man. Okay, and a biological man has no idea what it means to be a biological woman, regardless of how they identify. Their transgenderness is due to overpopulation. It's due to underdevelopment of their consciousness. It's due to the fact that we're churning out so many births, procreating so many births that we've caused the cycle of the biological female and the biological male to be in total chaos because we're unnaturally interfering with the process of the biological man and the biological female. Not to mention the biological female in their masculine and feminine qualities, and the biological man and his masculine and feminine qualities, which are not the same. They're not the same. My tomboyish, more presenting of a masculine is different from a biological man presenting his masculinity. And then regardless of whether a biological man is a transgender, gay, or heterosexual, his strength over a biological woman is second to none, regardless of how a woman identifies. Because we have this delusion going on in the trans women. No, I'm sorry. In the trans men. The trans men are just as delusional as the trans woman. And what I mean by delusional is believing that they understand the other gender. And they don't. A trans man has no idea what it means to be a biological man. It doesn't matter if you grow a beard and a mustache. Okay, you get masculinely pumped up. You wear men's clothes. Come on, snap out of it. Okay, look into nature. What if nature was behaving this way? We would attempt to eliminate the animals if they were acting like this. And sadly, there's efforts underway, which will not, again, this is for entertainment purposes only. There's efforts underway to interfere because the so-called elites, the so-called criminal negative energy, recognizes that the resources are running out. They want the resources for themselves only. So they're looking for means to eliminate parts of the population. So naturally, the population is going to be eliminated due to the weather destruction. And then you have other factors behind the scenes attempting to eliminate the population. These are my theories and opinions, which I'm allowed to have. But I know it makes people squirm in their seats when they realize that some of these things that I've talked about over the years are true. Some of the things that other teachers have attempted to tell us were true, because there's evidence, there's results, And artificial intelligence is going to help to uncover it for us. In the past, we were able to erase stuff, destroy stuff. That no longer can happen. Surprise, surprise. So I'm going to say this. Again, universal love was always inclusive. In our Black culture back in the day, cross-dressers were transgenders. Snap out of it. They were allowed to exist in our communities. You did not hear anything about anything happening to them per se. What started happening to the transgender community, more so the transgender females, is they were being deceptive about the fact that they were females. That they were not females. So in the middle of the night, when somebody wants to pick up a prostitute, these men thought they were getting women, biological women. Snap out of it. And then they realized they were not. And a lot of these transgenders is when they started calling themselves transgenders, which was, I think it became popular less than 20 years ago, no more than 25 years ago, to say transgender instead of cross-dressers or transvestites or whatever they used to say. It wasn't an issue in the Black culture because the whoever participated with them knew that they were cross-dressers, biological men believing they were females. The issue now is that the transgenders, more specifically the females, were being deceptive and manipulative, claiming to be women and they were not. And so the biological men, who are usually involved themselves in prostitution, let's admit it, thought they were getting a biological woman. Because a lot of them, all they wanted was a certain type of activity that didn't require, quote unquote, intercourse. Hey, this is explicit information and explicit topics. It has to be said. So it was more of an oral transaction. And then when these biological men realized that and then what started to happen, and nobody's going to admit that, the transgender females started extorting these biological men. Extorting them by saying that they're going to expose them for sleeping with a transgender if they don't do this or that and the other. They will not admit it. And that's why a lot of them were unalived at one point, remember? Where every week there was one one transgender female being unalived. So there's more in the backstory than being told. Okay, nobody is innocent per se. Okay, there's a lot of criminal negative energy that's happening in the background where people are deceiving people. If you think you have a biological female and you're attracted to biological females, what's going to happen to your body? It's going to get all roused up. But then when you realize, oh man, I can just imagine how disappointed I would be. I want my intimacy from biological women. And I would be truly disgusted if I got with someone and I realized they were not a biological woman. So I just couldn't imagine what a biological man would feel like. I really can. The deception and the manipulation with that. So I'm going to stop with this right now and go ahead and upload some of the videos and see what happens. Because these are deep topics that have to be spoken of and spoken about. And it's complex. It's not going to be solved in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. It's not going to be solved, I would say, for another 50 years or more. Because we are not recognizing the factors of the overpopulation. that is the cause of all of this confusion, massive confusion, and its consciousness underdevelopment because of our overpopulation. So the transgenderness is just the tip of the iceberg. What's going to happen with these babies that are going to be born now? They're going to have a lot of health issues. They're going to develop differently. They're not going to look like the so-called typical man or woman. Okay, there's going to be some extreme mutations. Whereas, the head sizes are going to be different. The size of the ears, the size, it's going to appear to be distortions, but it's all related to overpopulation. And what we are doing with our interference with the proper consciousness development and with the proper physical development and so forth and so on. Okay? It's complex, it's deep. This is the tip of the iceberg. But I want to be the first one. Let's not worry about all that. I want to be able to just put this out, and whoever resonates with my sounds and tones, pick it up, disseminate it, make the corrections, because I know I've made a lot of mistakes with all of this. And that's the whole idea. That's the whole idea with theories and opinions. There's a lot of mistakes within theories and opinion, but that's when you come in and actively dissect it and bring it into knowledge. Yeah, theories and opinions are worthless if they're not brought into knowledge. Okay? So I'm going to send peace and love. And trust me, I will be back.